What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. I want to say I appreciate it. You be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. So we're going to continue with 5 horror movies I think are underrated and should be seen more. Um, and I'm starting to go and look at other things like I want to start doing like certain directors, but I'm trying to figure out how to do it. Like, should I do it like just talk about the movies? Should I give like some info? How much info do I want to give about those directors? I don't know. There's just certain things I'm thinking about, but um, yeah, we're gonna start doing some other things as well. Um, I do have certain directors where I have multiple um, copies of their or multiple films within their filmography. And I love to be able to talk about them because I respect and love their, them as their, um, as directors and respect their careers and respect what they did. So that's all I'm thinking about doing. But in the meantime, I want you to let's do this. And there's going to be 5 underrated movies that I think deserve to be talked about and looked at more. And the first one is the remake of Maniac, 2013. Now, this particular movie, I watched the original Maniac a while, years ago. I just didn't like it, and I get it. Well, let me say that. We preface it by saying this: it just felt dirty and nasty and grimy, and I understand fully that was the point of it. But it felt too, uh, it was kind of like, for me, a movie, Natural Born Killers. And it was just too real. It was just too dirty. Um, but this one, and Alexander Aja, the one who directed this, and I love him. He might be one of the directors. This because I have this film of his. Um, I just did a video not too long ago on High Tension. So that's 2 films right there. I have of his. I have some more of the other films, and I'm just a huge fan of Alexander Aja. But yeah, Maniac is a movie I love. Great movie. Elijah Wood, phenomenal in that role. And one of my favorite scenes in the movie is, so there's this girl he's like becoming attached to, and he's already a serial killer. He's already killed several women. But there's this one girl that it's his connection to life, and she has like a boyfriend, and they go like this. I think she's like an artist or something. So he goes somewhere where she's showing her artwork, and he's in the bathroom. And the boyfriend comes in, and the boyfriend threatens him and says, "Hey, get the fuck away from my girl." And he even he washes his hands, and he wipes his hands on his shirt, and he doesn't do anything. He's a little bitch, and I love that scene because it showed he comes to these helpless women who he can easily overpower, and he can cut their throats and do all these other things. He's this, you know he has no problem with that. Here's this kind of fit guy. He is wiping his hands on his shirt like, I'll fucking kick your ass. And he just bitches out. He just puts his head down, and I think it was such a powerful scene because it showed he's a coward. He truly really is a coward. And it's only when he has power over these women that he is this, animal. Otherwise, he's just a little punk. So I love that scene. But the whole movie is amazing. It's beautiful. Elijah Wood is haunting, but he's also excellent in it. So I strongly recommend the Maniac remake. If you like the original, you should see this. But especially if you don't like the original, this is nothing like that. There's even a scene. He like on a date with one of the girls that he's eventually gonna kill, and she's like, it's like a blind date, and she's like, oh yeah, I thought, you're not what I don't remember the exact line, but basically she's like, you're not what I think you would, what you were gonna look like. I thought you would look like this big fat greasy guy, which if you don't know, this big fat greasy guy is exactly what the original actor in the Maniac looked like. So that was kind of a fun callback to the original Maniac. But no, this one is one of the best remakes in my opinion. Next, I'm going to cover this one up. We'll talk about Motel Hell. This is a movie I saw when I was very young, probably way too young to watch it, but I did. And to this day, it's one of my favorite movies. And let me just say, it's such a weird, offbeat movie, but it's so fun. So essentially, there's this couple, they run like this bed and breakfast type place, and certain people come through that are like loners or that they think are like runaways or whatever. They take them, they take them, and they bury them to the neck in the ground, and they're like the mouth are like shut, and they look like cat like heads of cabbage. It's hilarious. And what he does is he harvests them for his sausage. Matter of fact, what's the? I want to make sure I get it right. Um, oh man, it doesn't have his saying on there. Oh yeah, it takes all kinds of critters to make Farmer Vincent fritters. That is the most fucking awesome line ever. And because he does, he basically uses humans to make his like his famous sausages, and it's so awesome how they have them because like he pulls them off, and they're like, and they're like and it's such a weird, strange, offbeat movie, but it's so fun. I highly recommend it. And it is awesome. Like at the very end when he's chasing like the girl, he puts on like this pig head. And he has a chainsaw, and oh, it's so fucking awesome. Motel Hell is such a blast to watch. Um, Obviously, you can't go in but the expectation of like watching a deeply philosophical film because that's not what this is. But it's fun, and there's so much about it that's fun. But yeah, Motel Hell. If you haven't seen it, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's such a fun and awesome movie. It's a weird, offbeat, but still fun. So yeah, I'll do one more time. Motel Hell. Next, Clown. And if I'm not mistaken, um, Spider Man, the director of the first three Spider Man movies, John Watts, directed this. Believe it or not. Um, was it? I might be misremembering this, so please forgive me if I am. If someone says, "Hey, that isn't true," maybe it's not. But if I remember correctly, the original like mock trailer for this came out on FearNet, and it was so good. Eli Roth, I think John Watts made like a like a mock trailer, and Eli Roth was so impressed. He went to him and said, "I want to make this movie." And if you don't know what Clown's about, It's about this guy, and he trying to do something special for his son. So he finds like this clown costume in his basement. So he puts it on, so he can have like a clown at his son's birthday, and so it's fun and whatever. But he finds it difficult to take off, and slowly but surely, the clown costume starts to like adhere to his skin, and he becomes a killer clown. Now, just so we're clear, this movie has a lot of child deaths, like a lot. So be aware of that. If kids dying is hard for you to watch, no matter how. Another thing about this movie, even though it's kind of a crazy concept, it's done pretty straightforward. Like it's very dark. Um, but it is so worth a watch. It is a fun and a I would say very original idea. I like the fact that there's this clown mask that just gets a hold of you and turns you into this killer clown. I think that's so interesting. But a really well done movie by a who is now a pretty big director. So that's fun. Next is a movie featuring a young man who passed away much too early. That's Odd Thomas. And it stars Anton Yelchin. Now, Anton Yelchin is a young man right here, and he passed away some years ago. A horrible accident. And he was a really good actor. I really liked a lot of stuff he was in. So it's a shame he, left us so soon. But Odd Thomas is such a fun, amazing film. About a guy, he can see like ghosts and demons, and he fights them, and he has all these misadventures. And um, it stars Anton Yelchin, but it also stars William Dafoe, who, of course, William Dafoe is great in everything that he's in. And the movie is so well done. And it is such a heartbreaking ending. I obviously don't want to give it away, but it's very fun. And it's Anton Yelchin always gives amazing performances, and this one is no different. He really plays the oddball goof who was given these abilities he really doesn't want or really know how to use exactly, but he tries his best to help people with them, and I think there's something endearing about that. So, and to see him try to help people and to see him try to like make the best out of a bad situation, I think is really good and is really fun, and it's really good to see him do this stuff. So Odd Thomas is a movie I highly recommend. I think it's amazing. I think Anton Yelchin, may he rest in peace, was amazing, and I wish he was still around so he could make more movies, especially horror movies. Because and he was good and quirky, like this one, Burying the X by Joe Dante. Um, I think he was in Green. I haven't seen Green Room yet. I want to see. I heard nothing but good things. So he was in some really good movies, and he's a few that I've seen him in. He's been excellent. So, Odd Thomas is definitely one to look out for. And finally, people talk about anthologies. We talk about Trick or Treat, obviously, Creep Show, as being like 1 and 2. But there's one out there. I don't know if it's better than them, but it's definitely at least on the same level. That's Tales from the Dark Side. And there's 3 stories, and you can wrap around one pretty good about this kid. He's like in his witches in his cage, and the witch is gonna cook him and eat him. And so to distract her, he tells her 3 stories. And the first one about this college student who got like backstabbed by his friend or roommate, whatever it was. So, and it involves a mummy. That one's really good. It stars Steve Buscemi. Um, Steve Buscemi. Who else is in there? Julianne Moore, who's amazing, and I think Christian Slater's in that one too. The first movie off the bat has some amazing star power, and just an amazing story. The second one about this old, decrepit, super wealthy guy. He calls his hitman. He tells the hitman, "Hey, I need you to kill someone." The guy's like, "Yeah, sure. Who you want me to kill?" He's like, "I want you to kill this cat." Hitman's like, "This a joke? Fuck you talking about?" He's like, "I want you to kill a cat. There's a cat in my house. I want you to kill it." The guy's like, "Okay. Like, you called me here to kill a cat." The guy's like, "Do you want the money or not? I'm offering you this money. Kill this cat. I'm leaving. I'll be back." The hitman goes, "Okay." He goes to kill the cat. And let's just say it's not, turns out it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. The last one's one of my favorite. About this guy, and he sees this gargoyle kill like somebody, and the gargoyle tells him, "Don't ever tell anyone about this. Don't ever tell anyone you ever saw me." And so the guy goes, he gets married, he has a kid, and he lives his whole entire life. And then he tells his wife about the gargoyle. And what happens after that is one of the best twists I've ever seen. This is a good movie, a good segment, I guess you would say. But, and then the wraparound is pretty good too. So this whole, and that's the thing with anthologies, it's not only the segments, it's the wraparound, everything collectively. How good is it? And Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, is amazing. It's one of the best, most just well-made anthologies I think ever. It's well worth your time and watching. But yeah, that's my five for the day. Tales from the Dark Side, Motel Hell, Clown, Odd Thomas, and of course the Maniac remake featuring Elijah Wood. All these movies are top notch, amazing films. Well worth your time. Well worth checking out and seeing, and even owning. You know, nothing can beat physical media, in my opinion. So, anyway, guys, I'd love to hear if anyone else seen these movies. If you love them as much as I do, and if you haven't, which ones do you want to see? So, till next time, guys, be safe.